Scott. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the e-pipe 900 Maxi Carto, which I received from a Spanish website called www.e-cig.com. That's V-A-P at the end there. Maybe pronounced vape though. Before I start, I must point out I did receive it free of charge for the purpose of conducting a review. My opinion of the product remains true, honest and accurate as always. Okay, so let's go straight ahead and show you what's in the box. Okay, so the e-pipe 900 comes in a presentation box like this. When you open up the lid, inside you're going to find yourself a like a user manual. You're then going to see the actual E900 pipe already sort of pretty much fully assembled. You're going to get two of these Maxi cartomizers. Obviously I've got one here, but I've already got one already installed inside the actual electronic pipe. And you're going to get yourself a 10ml bottle of e-liquid. And when you lift out this sort of whole section here, which is a little bit difficult to do, and then underneath you're going to be able to see that you also get included a USB mains adapter, and you get the actual USB charging cable. Okay, so let's go and have a look at the actual pipe. Okay, so the E900 electronic pipe is made up of three main parts. You have the main body, which includes a fixed battery, so you can't take the battery out to charge it. You get a Maxi cartomizer, which are quite a big, hefty old cartomizer. I think they hold around sort of 2.5 ml of e-liquid, and you get a plastic mouthpiece. Now, like I said, the main body has a fixed battery, so when you want to charge it, you have to sort of take the USB charger, screw that into place like that, and then stick this end into your PC or use the USB mains adapter. Now, on the older sort of like this looks very similar to a DSC 601 electronic pipe. And with those pipes, the atomizer used to be sort of fixed in place into like the main body. So when the atomizer eventually sort of went past its lifespan, you'd have to buy the whole body again in order to obviously start being able to vape. Whereas now, like obviously you have the cartomizers rather than a atomizer, which is for me is a big plus, because it's easier to replace like a cartomizer, or cheaper should I say, to replace a cartomizer compared to like the whole body. Whereas obviously on the flip side though, the battery is now fixed in now. So when the battery does eventually go past its lifespan, which isn't going to be any time soon, they're going to last you a very, very long amount of time really. But nevertheless, you will have to buy the whole body again, in other words, to get yourself basically a new battery. But I'd much rather have a fixed battery in there than a fixed atomizer, because obviously a battery's lifespan is going to be far, far greater than the lifespan of an atomizer. Okay, so you get your cartomizer, or a Maxi Carto, and that just sort of screws into place. And then you take your plastic mouthpiece and that slides on over the top. Let me just quickly line it up. And that's it. That is the E900 electronic pipe already assembled and ready to vape. It has a LED here which will light up automatically each time you inhale. So it is an automatic switch. There's no little sort of buttons to press. And looks wise, it looks like a very nice electronic pipe, pretty much identical really to like the DSC 601, but in my opinion it's probably a better design, because like I said, I'd much rather have the fixed battery in there compared to having a fixed atomizer, because it's going to be a lot more cost effective when it comes to replacing parts. Okay, so that is the E900 electronic pipe. Let's go straight ahead and see what it vapes like. Okay, so that is the e-pipe 900 Maxi Carto. So what I'll do now is obviously go ahead and show you in action. Before I do that though, I just want to say a quick apology to e-cig or e-cig.com, just for the length of time it's taken for me to actually get around to recording this review. They first sent me this around maybe 6 or 7 weeks ago, but because of other reviews already in place before that, we've had a lot of work on prior to Christmas, and obviously we've had Christmas and New Year, so I'm just running very behind in everything at the moment, so apologies to e-cig or e-cig. Okay, so I've already put in a fresh, basically the kit comes with those two cartomizers. I'm not sticking the fingers up, by the way, it comes with two cartomizers. One of them I've been using over that period of time, but I've just been refilling it, just because I want to keep one fresh one for the actual review, which is what is loaded up in here now. So I'll give you a quick blast. Okay, so vapour wise, as you can see, it does produce a nice amount of vapour. It does take a few sort of primer puffs to sort of get it going, which I suppose is pretty much like a traditional sort of pipe, a traditional tobacco pipe anyway. So vapour wise, once it gets going, vapour's pretty good. Now, I don't know if you guys are hearing that at all, but I'm going to get straight on to my biggest negative about this pipe. And that is the noise it makes when you're actually inhaling. I'm not too sure if you can actually sort of pick it up or not, but just try and listen out for this. Now, I don't know if you, there's that very famous painting called The Scream, and where the character is basically going like that and screaming, and this is making the exact sort of noise I think that character would make if it had a voice, and it really does sort of get on your nerves immensely after a while. Like when I first got it, I thought, oh, it's got a bit of a noise there. After you start vaping it for a quarter of an hour, half an hour, and by the end of a vaping session, you just want to put it down because the noise is just so irritating. Now it could just be this one single pipe that's got that error. Maybe they've all got it, I don't know, but I can only judge it by the one that I've got here in my hand. And it really is making a very annoying sort of whistling / sort of screaming sound. And I'll get straight on into my second negative, and that is the flavour of the cartomisers, or lack of, is probably the better way to describe it. Now, the cartomisers, they just don't seem to taste of anything really. If anything, the only thing I can sort of really say yes, I can see or notice a bit of a flavour is a sort of slight sort of coffee taste to it. Apart from that, it is just like vaping sort of flavourless e-liquid. And even when I sort of put in my own sort of flavours, or if I use the 555 e-liquid that comes with the kit to sort of top them up, again, it's still not really noticing that much of a flavour there really. Now I've made up some of my own e-liquids and added quite a bit more sort of juice in there to sort of obviously pep up the actual flavour, and then it becomes sort of what I would class as acceptable. But if you just got like your standard sort of generic e-liquids and filling them the cartomisers up with that, or refilling them up with that, then you may be a little bit disappointed, because for me, I normally don't have any problems with sort of flavours on anything really, but I am personally sort of finding the flavours to be sort of pretty muted, especially just the standard flavour that comes with the cartomisers. It does improve if you fill it up with your own liquid, but the standard cartomisers with the liquid that comes in it is just like almost non-existent. Now I'll get on to the throat hit. Now I know a lot of people are going to say to me, oh, but you're not meant to inhale it, it's a pipe, you're meant to mouth it and appreciate the flavour and all that jazz. But I still like to mouth it when I have an e-pipe or an e-cigar, and I still like to inhale it, and it's just like personal preference at the end of the day. And so there you go. Now throat hit wise, you are getting that sort of like kick at the back of your throat, but it's not like a proper sort of good smack in the back of your throat, let's put it that way. But you are getting a throat hit, but I'd say it's definitely more on the mild side, especially if you're using that 555 liquid that comes with the kit, because it is only like 11 milligram strength. And I personally find that the higher the nicotine content, the stronger or the harsher the throat hit. But you're getting a throat hit, but like nothing sort of too major, let's put it that way. The battery life on it uses a 900 milliamp hour battery. Now I've not been using this like all day long. Obviously when I've been sort of like using it, I'm not going to be using it as my main sort of all day vape, so I'm going to be using this like in the evenings basically. And I would say a fully charged battery is giving me around sort of 4 evenings worth of pretty good vaping actually. I'd say probably about sort of maybe sort of 2.5 hours worth of vaping at a time. Now that's not me sort of sitting there chain vaping it for those sort of 2.5 hours. It's just me sitting there chilling out in front of the telly and having a vape basically. Now obviously if you are more of a hardcore vapor, you are going to be hitting it every 2 seconds, and obviously you're not going to get the same length of time as me. But for me, based on my own sort of personal vaping sort of needs, I suppose, I'd say a fully charged batteries last me around sort of 4 hours worth of 4 evenings worth of vaping, around sort of 2.5 hours each. So you're looking at about, if it's for me anyway, like a full day's worth of vaping and maybe a little bit more on top of it. But like I said, if you are a particularly heavy vapor, then you're not going to get the same length of time as what I would. But nevertheless, though, for me, based on my own sort of vaping style, I'd say the battery life is actually pretty good. Bloody noise. Last one then is the switch. Now it uses a automatic switch. There are models on the site I think where it has a manual switch as well, so if you do prefer a manual switch then obviously you can choose one of those. But this is the automatic one, and nothing wrong with the switch at all. Every time you take an inhale, even if it's just like a fairly light inhale or a pretty heavy inhale, the LED lights up there activates the cartomizer every single time. So switch wise, works perfectly. Other than that, there's not a great deal else I can tell you. So it's a bit of a mixed bag really. Like looks wise, I think it looks like a very nice pipe. Vapor wise, I think it does produce a very nice amount of vapor. It does feel very nice sort of in the hand, and when you're vaping it, it's got a nice sort of weight to it as well. Battery life is, for me anyway, is very good. What else is there? But the main negative is lack of flavour in the actual cartomizer, and that noise, which is just for me is just absolutely irritating to hell. Like I said, it could just be this one model that's got that noise. It could be I could have little something stuck down there that's causing that noise. I don't know, because you can't take it that apart to have a look anyway. So don't write it off too much about that noise, because like I said, other models may not have that. It could just be I've just got one sort of slight dodgy one there. Okay, so get on to the scores then. For the looks, I think it's a very nice looking pipe, so I'll quite happily give that a 9 out of 10. For the vapor, it's a difficult one really, because if I just take, you're getting bugger all basically. But if you treat it like a pipe and you take a few primer puffs, then you are getting like a very satisfactory amount of vapor. But I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. But that's based on taking a few primer puffs beforehand. Throat hit, I'll also give a 7 out of 10. It's not amazingly strong. That's if you did want to obviously inhale the vapor. But it's not totally weak either. Excuse me. The battery life, I think the battery life is very good really, based on my own sort of personal sort of vaping, and so I'll quite happily give the battery life a 9 out of 10. For the switch, I can't honestly say anything negative at all about the switch, so I'll quite happily give that a 10 out of 10 as well. Okay then, so if you fancy trying one of these out for yourself, go along to www.e-cig, maybe pronounced easyvape.com. And thank you very much for watching, and also come along and visit my website at www.e-cigreviews.com. That's e-cig-reviews.com. Cheers guys, happy vaping, see you later.